Oh, look at that Patreon. So quiet. Would be a shame if some noise were to be brought there. Am I right or am I right? Please give me some money. They said my coin collection isn't worth a penny. You wanna know what sucks? Me. Missing out on the Pokemon anime content gravy train. Man, that was popping off more than JFK's head at one point. But no, now I'm here, we're killing off Ash. It's tragic. Honestly, it's been devastating. I was in tears when Pikachu was ironically diagnosed with yellow fever and died. How am I going to make a top 10 best Pikachu moments now? I'm not just going to hurl over and ruin a great chance for some content. I have a flawless plan without flaws. We're going to celebrate the anime by creating Ash's worst ever team. A very elegant and fun, yet simple concept that's probably been done before. However, when I got into the script, I realised something was a bit wrong. All I'm going to do is look at the lowest win rates of Ash's Pokemon and then slap them on a team. Maybe a few variations here and there if someone did particularly well despite having a poor win rate, but for the most part, this video is going to be pretty by the books. Thankfully though, one of those books is about spices, the perfect ingredient to spice up our video. Now this video may be confusing to some people that don't know much about Ash's Pokemon, so very quickly I'm just going to name them all off. Right, so if you're ever wondering what Pokemon Ash had, just remember what I said. To be clear, we're only counting recognised Ash Pokemon, as recognised by our Lord and Saviour Bulbapedia. So Pokemon like that one Haunter he used for a comedy act against Sabrina, or Mega Rayquaza from the Hooper movie, will not be in running for a slot on his worst team. But you want to know who does qualify? This random old man's Raticate, of course. The one that Ash temporarily traded his Butterfree for. Like I said, it's on Bulbapedia, so it counts. Alright, into Raticate itself, and I'm not trying to be pedantic here, but Raticate sucks. Listen, I have nothing against rats. In fact, here are my two old rats, Dottie and Olive, and they were very lovely. Hey guys, Future Joe here. This is the part in the video where I was going to post a picture of my beloved rats, but sadly, all photography of them seems to have been lost. This is a tragedy on a scale not seen since the destruction of the Library of Alexandria. It's not all bad though. I was able to find a picture of my old cats. That is Gomez, Morty, Ginger, and Molly. Molly did not really like me that much, nor did Ginger, but Gomez was rather lovely. He also got another cat killed by chasing him in front of a car. But Raticate really sucks, and I'm tired of pretending it doesn't. I feel everyone agreed Raticate was bad, and then through nostalgia and some random tricks, people tricked themselves into thinking it was good. Raticate is like the Star Wars prequels of the Pokemon universe. And no, I'm not apologising for that statement. And look at this one in particular, it was getting its ass handed to it by a Butterfree. Yeah, the battle didn't technically end, but still. No, my Raticate has been paralysed from the waist down. I surrender. If Butterfree is considered one of Ash's weakest Pokemon, and said Butterfree was able to defeat Raticate, a Raticate that Ash has technically owned, then I have no problem putting the aforementioned Raticate as the first member of Ash's new team, the Sucky Six. You all remember how stretched the logic was in my last video, right? With the Slowbro and everything? This one's worse. Boom! Lapras. Now, I am among the 5 Lapras enjoyers out there, but come on. What did it do that was impressive? Be a taxi? Pfft, is what I say to that. No, in the entire anime, Lapras had one fight and it was against Drake's Gengar, and it tied against it. On the surface, this may seem very impressive because Drake is considered kind of a final boss-esque of the Orange Islands. Now let me dispel those rumours, because everyone's always like, oh, I actually beat someone who was as powerful as the Elite Four, ooh, so impressive. Q. Why Drake sucks and beating him is not an accomplishment. Exhibit A. has an Onix. Exhibit B lost 5 of his Pokemon while Ash still had 4. Exhibit 3 looks like a dork. In comparison to almost every other Ash Pokemon, I think Lapras is pretty weak. She belongs here. I'm not sorry. But now I know what you're all thinking. MagcarJoe, what the actual f***? Don't worry, I'm going to fix this by making it worse, and then you'll appreciate what you had. Ready for this? Beedrill. Arguably one of the weakest early game fully evolved bugs. In the Bug Stops Here episode, Ash catches a Beedrill, but gives it to a kid named Casey. This Beedrill's biggest claim to fame is it exists. We don't know its moves, we don't know its strength, we just know that Ash didn't want it, and Ash is a pretty, good judge of character. You could drive on the wrong side of the road and become a diplomat to me here, saying that, well, Casey could have trained this Beedrill up, and therefore, if it became powerful enough, it would not deserve a spot on the Sucky 6. My counter-argument, Casey, that name sounds a lot like Tracy. Not going to alarm you at all, but we know what kind of man Tracy is. A bad one. I cannot think of another reason why Beedrill should not have the 3rd spot. Well. Seems we've got some good results already. I think I will use the halfway point to tell you to subscribe. Subscribe. If there's any Pokemon episode I often reminisce on, it's this particular one. So forbidden, it became ingrained within the minds of every Pokemon fan. Episode 35. Also known as the introduction of the attack gun. Also the time Ash caught 30 Tauros. Pretty funny gag, not gonna lie. It also worked out well thematically, because Ash was able to call up Oak and was like, yeah, give me that one. And then that one was the one we saw in a few battles in the Advanced era, and just a few other random ones. I think it was at the Indigo League. It was never a standout, but it definitely wasn't worst teammate material by a long shot. Average is what I would call it. But there were 30 Tauros, correct? What if we took the worst Tauros out of all of them? How bad would that one be? We can't really assume the one Ash chose as his favourite was already the strongest. It probably is now because it's actually been trained, but still, we don't know much about the rest of them. Logically though, there will be a weakest. There will be a lowest member of the pack, if you will. The beautiful thing is, we don't really need to dissect how weak the weakest Tauros is, because we already know the one that's been trained is average at best. Main big Sigma Boy Tauros drew against Frontier Brain Annabelle's Metagross, won against that loser Drake's Venusaur, and lost against Gary's Nidoqueen and Drake's Dragonite. Admittedly, that one was pretty powerful, I'll give him that. Like I said, if we look at Tauros in relation to other Ash Pokemon, it's kind of average. So if we look at an even weaker Tauros, potentially 30 times weaker, plus as for the beta male drawn in MS Paint Tauros, more than likely it's still going to be stuck with Gen 1 moves. I think the weakest Tauros can be the 4th member of the Sucky 6. And adding him to the roster, man, doesn't it make it beautiful? We are making heart. It brings a tear to my eye witnessing truly such an awful team, and the best thing is, we're not done. Worst thing is, I'm out of those cheeky free picks. For the last 2 Pokemon to make an appearance, we're going to need to go through Ash's entire team. We're going to need to look at the lowest win rates and the least notable wins overall. Torkold, the example I used way back at the beginning, did technically have a pretty good performance against a Registeel. I don't think he deserves lowest of the low. It's going to be difficult. Obviously, we're going to have to sit down, work hard, calculate, use math, and determine which Pokemon is Ash's weakest. That sounds like a lot of effort. What would my idol Billy Mitchell do in a time like this? Thanks for the research, sucker. Okay, I'll just scroll through a bit and there we go. The 2 Pokemon with the lowest win rates are Gliscor and Noivern. They didn't have any notable wins. I think we're good. To start with Gliscor, he won against Bryson's Bastiodon, one of the easiest gyms in all of Platinum, just saying by the way, and more impressively, Paul's Drapion, while losing to, for example, Paul's Gliscor, Paul's Electivire, Paul's Torterra, then Paul really had it out for hating on the Gliscor boy. See, not only is this KD absolutely awful, the only wins are also not that amazing. Bastiodon is a garbage failure of a Pokemon, and Paul's Drapion had already fought a majority of Ash's team before the 1v1. Gliscor is among the greatest of the Chads, don't get me wrong, but you also got to remember he even had extra training at the Air Nomad Temple, wherever it was, and he still sucked. You know, I was gonna wait. I was gonna wait, but now I'm doing it. It's happening. He is joining the ranks of the Old Man's Raticate and Tauros number 24. And now I bet you're thinking, as well as Joe, what the actual f***? I'm just going to go back to the video, pick the next lowest win rate Pokemon, which is Noivern, slap him into the team, and call it a day. Well, I was going to do that because it seemed like the easiest solution to my final problem. But then I kinda realised Noivern did go toe-to-toe with a Zapdos, drew against a full health Salamence, and at least got a win against a Doublade. The first two being big enough accomplishments, I can say I don't think Noivern is the weakest. Right, and what can we do instead? Maybe the lowest base stat total of one of his teammates will give us the answer. Surprisingly, it actually turns out that is Gibble, rocking a solid 300 base stat total. Bro, why not evolve? God damn it, Ash. But here's the thing. Pretend for a second the floor is a Dusknoir. Yeah, not only did Gibby win against a Dusknoir in the Sinnoh League, but it also had the homing Draco Meteor. Man was packing. We have got a few other outliers. Totodile, Pidgeot, literally the entire Unova team, excluding Crocodile. But all of them just do barely more than what I believe the weakest member should be able to do. It doesn't work. I need to find a Pokemon that is actual toxic garbage. A waste of O2. Something that makes the world a worse place.
Hey, what about the starters that Ash always has? You know, like Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Snivy, stuff like, you know.
How dare you? How dare you even suggest that? Firstly, you are just a prop used to set up a later joke. Why are you even giving me advice? Secondly, the feats some of these guys and girls performed easily puts them above some of Ash's fully evolved Pokemon.
What about Torterra then? Fully evolved, it lost every single battle and its signature move became a rock climb. I mean, it's kinda, dare I say, cringe?
How dense are you? You must fail to even float in water. You, sir, are an idiot. Turtwig was awesome. I'm going. I'm gone. I'm not finishing this. I'm not doing this. Farewell.
Hey, come back.
Idiot!
Words, no matter how cruel, will not hurt me.
Wait a minute. Come. Backwards. What if we spelled it differently? Oh my god. I've done it again. That's right, baby, it's Muck time. Everyone's favourite go-to argument mon for defending Gen 5's designs. Why do I believe Muck belongs on this disgrace of a team? Because of its performance. Simple as that. It might be the worst out of any of Ash's Pokemon used more than once. The only Pokemon Muck has ever defeated was a Bellsprout. A Bellsprout that had fought a admittedly already damaged Bulbasaur and a Season 1 version of Pikachu, which basically equates to the actual strength a Pikachu should have. And fuck just mucking sits on it. Anyway, Muck won against a Pokemon who was weaker than him. A Pokemon who had a massive disadvantage against him. And the only other times he fought resulted in him getting KO'd without doing much of anything. So any argument of him being this immortal punching bag are clearly incorrect.
I'm sorry, who the hell are you?
Let us finalise the creation of Ash's worst possible, somewhat legit team. Whenever children think of the Pokemon anime, they will be envisioning this. A rat, a turtle shell thing, a bee, a bull, a scorpion bat, and the personifications of the dangers toxic waste presents to the natural environment. I know this list may seem a bit controversial to some of the plebeians, but here is my final and greatest defense. Hey, hope you all enjoyed the video. Look at this, I can make my Patreon and channel members fight each other. Isn't that sick? Just want to give everyone here a massive thank you for the support you've given me. It's truly unbelievable, just the amount that came in such a short amount of time. Honestly, God, you are all absolutely amazing. I want to just quickly thank my mate Crazy Carlson for providing the voice of the old man in the bar scene. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel, link will be in the description. If you want to keep up with uploads, make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell right next to it. I don't know what it's at now, but I'm pretty sure we're close to 20k, so yeah, pretty cool. Make sure you subscribe. Alright, have a lovely day. Goodbye.